Hello, dear students. So now I welcome you to the second part of the presentation of the chapter Natural Vegetation. So in the previous chapter we did what? That the three types of vegetation, that is the thorn forests, tropical deciduous forests and tropical rainforests. Hereover we will be looking into the mangrove forests. So let's begin. So mangrove is any certain kind of shrubs and trees that belong primarily to the families of Rhizophoria, Acanthaceae, Lyracea, Combrathecia, and Ericaceae that grow in the dense thickets or forests along tidal estuaries, in salt marshes and on muddy coasts, and that characteristically have prop roots, that is, exposed supporting roots. The term mangrove also applies to thickets and forests of such plants. Respiratory or knee roots, that is pneumatophores, are characteristic of many species. They project above the mud and have small openings known as lenticels through which air enters, passing through the soft, smudgy sponge to the roots beneath the mud. Now, what are the characteristics of mangrove forests? Mangrove forests can survive both in saline as well as fresh water. They are found along the tidal belts of deltas where the fresh water from the river mixes with the salt water of the sea. Therefore, what are they known as? They are also called tidal forests. They are found in the Sundarbans in West Bengal, Pichavaram in Tamil Nadu, near Chilka in Orissa, and in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The Sundarbans are named after the Sundari tree, which is a very common type of species found in these deserts. Now, what is the importance of mangroves? Mangroves are extremely important to the coastal ecosystem they inhabit. Physically, they serve as a buffer between marine and terrestrial communities and protect shorelines from damaging winds, waves, and floods. Mangrove thickets improve water quality by filtering pollutants and trapping sediments from the land, and they reduce coastal erosion as well. Ecologically, what they do, they provide habitat for a diverse array of terrestrial organisms and many species of coastal and offshore fish like shellfish. They rely exclusively on these mangroves as their breeding, spawning, and hatching grounds. Now, because of their high salt tolerance, mangroves are often among the first species to colonize mud and sandbanks flooded by seawater. But an increase in coastal development and altered land use led to a decline in global populations. Several species are listed as vulnerable or endangered on the International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) Red List of Threatened Species. Now, if we look into the mangrove forests globally, we will see that mangrove flora along the Atlantic coast of tropical America and along the coast of the Gulf of Mexico to Florida consists chiefly of the common or red mangrove, that is Rhizophora mangrove, of the family Rhizophoraceae, and the black mangroves, usually Abyssinia nitida, sometimes A. marina, of the family Acanthaceae. Mangrove formations in Southeast Asia also include Sonoracea of the family Lythraceae and Nipa palm, that is Nipa fruticans, of the family Ericaceae. The trunks and the branches of most mangrove species constantly produce adventitious roots which, descending in arced fashion, strike at some distance from the parent stem and send up new trunks. Now, the common mangrove grows to about 9 meters or 30 feet tall. The leaves are 5 to 15 centimeter, that is 2 to 6 inches long, opposite, oval or elliptic. and smooth-edged. They are thick and have leathery surfaces and are borne on short stems. The flowers are like pale yellow, while the fruit is still attached to the parent branch. The long embryonic root emerges from the seed and grows rapidly downward. When this propagule falls, the young root is in the correct position to be driven into the mud. The plant being thus rooted, the shoot makes its appearance. The young root may grow to such a length that it becomes fixed in the mud before the fruit separates from the tree. So I'm basically discussing the type of mangroves that we see and their immense importance to maintain the ecological balance. The black mangrove, usually of moderate height, sometimes grows 18 to 21 meters, that is 59 to 69 feet tall. The leaves are 5 to 7.5 centimeter, that is 2 to 3 inches long, opposite, oblong or sphere shaped. The upper surface is green and glossy. The lower surface whitish or grayish. The white flowers are small, inconspicuous and fragrant and are frequented by honeybees for their abundant nectar. The wood of some species is hard and durable. The astringent bark yields a water-soluble tanning substance. The fruit of common mangrove is sweet and wholesome. Now, another type of important mangrove is the Amborella Trichopoda. It is the native to New Caledonia in the southwestern Pacific Ocean and has a scattered distribution through much of the central elevated part of the land. It is an evergreen shrub whose wood is considered to be of a primitive type because of its lack of vessels, a type of cell for water conduction. Male, that is pollen producing, and female, that is ovule producing flowers occur on separate plants. The flowers are small, that is 5 millimeter or less in diameter, and occur in small clusters in the axils of the leaves. They have 5 to 8 tepals. Sepals and tepals are not differentiated here, enclosing 10 to 25 stamens or 5 to 6 carpels. The structure of both the stamens and carpels is also considered to be relatively primitive. The stamens are flattened and leaf-like. The carpels are not completely sealed and the stigma is attached directly to the top of the ovary. The single-seeded fruits that develop from each carpel are red at maturity and only 1 centimeter long and 3 millimeter wide. Unlike most basal angiosperms, A. trichopoda apparently lacks ethereal oils. So, these are a few types of mangrove forests. And what do we know from here? We know that what type of fruits they have, what type of flowers they have, how they reproduce, and what is their importance, and also by far their characteristics. So, if the question comes that where do we find these type of forests in India, the answer will be these: the Sundarbans in West Bengal, Pichavaram in Tamil Nadu, near Chilika in Orissa, and in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And what is the most important type of trees found in the Sundarbans? That is the family of the mangrove. What the answer will be the Sundari tree. So here we complete the type of mangrove forests. So students, please remember this is one of the most important type of forest which we require for maintaining the ecological balance. So the next type that we will be seeing in this chapter, that is the next type of vegetation, is the mountain forest vegetation.